Today, guys, I want to take a look at this RIDGID Pro Gear mobile cart Generation 2, and it is made by RIDGID. The specs show that it is 25.5 by 18.8 by 31 to 41.5 inches because of the handle, and it says it's 15.2 gallons. So on the left is the new design, Gen 2. On the right, I have several of the older design, which I've had no issues with. I love them. But when I first saw these in the store here, the Gen 2, I dismissed it right away, because as you'll notice, the original one on the right, the handle is so much lower, much more compact. That's the lowest that it'll fold. The Gen 2, you'll see that it folds, but the handle sticks up way much higher. So at that point, I just dismissed it. Until yesterday, when I went back to Home Depot for some stuff, I thought, let me take a quick, closer look at this box. Now, these two boxes could not be so much different. They are totally redesigned, and we'll start off with the way the lids come off. Now, the original design, as you see here, the lid actually comes completely off. It's not hinged, where the Gen 2 is hinged. Now, here's the older design box, and inside of it I have an Astrophysics Mach 2 equatorial mount. Obviously, down here is where you'd have to attach it to a tripod. Your telescope would fit up here on this saddle. But anyways, this has worked out excellently to carry this and keep it stored so that no damage comes of it. And believe it or not, what you see right there is $11,500. So I've been very happy with their carts. And as anybody that's seen any of my other videos, RIDGID is my toolbox of choice. And the lid, as I stated previous, fits on like that. And it latches shut. Gen 2 hinges. But this Gen 2 has another trick up its sleeve. If we look at the older model, it's got a narrower footprint on the width of the handle versus the wider footprint of the Gen 2. To release the handle on the original version, you would push this orange, that would release it, unlock it for the up and down. On Gen 2, we have these two things here. You pull back, then lift on the handle. As to the wheels, they are larger on the Gen 2, and they seem to have a different makeup of the tread, more rubbery. The difference is approximately 7 1/8 on the old version, 8 3/4 on Gen 2 for the wheel diameters. Here we're looking at the back sides, the original version, and then the Gen 2. Included with the Gen 2 is this box for storage, whatever it is you might want. And that sits like you see right here. And it actually only really sits in the back. just like that. And that's another feature that the original version has, which this continues, and you can use the old version, we'll call it Gen 1, on Gen 2. You can stack the boxes on here, and the system still works, which is excellent. So it's backwards compatible for stacking. And these are what locks in the next box you set on top. And on Gen 1, the latches were like this. Gen 2, they've changed the design. They've also included, should you desire to lock it, you've got this built into the box where you can put a lock on. So let's take a look at the Generation 1 design, the one that I have my Equatura mount in. I'm not going to pull it out, but you'll notice then in the corners it took up space for these wheels because they were set flush more or less with the sides. So it did take up some room in here, as did the mechanism for the handle. So in effect it was lost room. I've never had a problem with it, but the new one changes that. Gen 2 though is completely open, so I like that. The wheels are to the outside though, but it offers more space, usable space on the inside. As to the hinge, it is pinned on both sides like this. You've got one half here, the other half over here, and it's a steel pin. And something I want to take a look at, have you think about, is what is this orange thing for? This is what separates Gen 1 from Gen 2, and why initially I was turned off by this, because of the handle being so much higher and not collapsed for portability. So now I'm out in my yard, but if we take a look, that handle goes all the way down to the bottom when this is fully collapsed. And when you go to back it up, if you're on concrete, you're dragging. Those legs down there, or those handles, will drag on the floor. And you can even see in the yard, it's dragging on those, and the wheels will not rotate properly. So that's why I dismissed this. But let's take a closer look. So remember when we were up on this side, I showed that orange piece? Here it is from the back. This is what allows this actual handle and wheels separates completely from the box and makes the box a separate unit that you can use on its own, and you can use it independently of those wheels. And for storage, again, you can stack those boxes somewhere and put the cart out of the way. So here's the back side. Here's what I had you look at earlier. So what happens is, you'll pull this like that, and then that will separate. Let me try to do it here. Well, I'm going to have to put this on a tripod. But you can see, well no, it actually did separate. So now, all I got to do is lift the box completely away from the handle wheel assembly. Now that is badass. But once I saw this, I thought, yep, this is definitely it. All I can say is it's a well done, well executed design. The way this works, guys, is if you saw the video that I did of the standard toolbox last week, they had wall anchors that you could anchor the boxes up on the wall, and they were similar to what you see here, but they were pieces that would anchor to the wall, and then they would fit up in here. So what they've done here for this box is they've done that and they've put it on this cart. So basically it allows you to take the toolbox and hang it off of the standalone cart. So let's put this back into the carrier. You heard it snap in like that. Beautiful design.